Suicide is a touchy subject, but it does happen. Preventing it from happening is always ideal, and prevention comes from knowing the signs. However, signs that someone is trying to die by suicide are not that clear.
I'd like to say that it's very simple, but unfortunately it's not. The area of suicide prevention, suicide intervention is very much a gray area because, of course, people are individuals.
That said, there are some common signs. When you look at the human psyche, loss is a factor that makes someone contemplate suicide.
We hear the word loss and we think of death automatically, and certainly that can be a component, but loss can be anything to different things rather, to different people. So it might be the loss of hope, which would be huge for most people, loss of something tangible, like an item. It might be loss of a goal or a dream, employment, divorce, relationship breakup, loss of a pet. So the area of loss is a large one in and of itself, but often we see loss being a component to leading someone to have suicidal thoughts.
When suspecting someone is suicidal, the toughest part is how to intervene.
The very first thing is to recognize that yes, this could be happening to a loved one, and that sounds so simple, and yet that can be the most complicated thing, because we know we love our loved ones so much that why could they possibly, or how could they possibly having these thoughts?
The next step is verbalization.
And the next one is to not be afraid to use the word suicide and to be very open about it in a non-judgmental manner, which means that there's no talk of are you crazy, are you stupid, how can you be thinking these things, but more neutralizing it and say, you know, I'm concerned about you and I'm wondering if you're having thoughts of suicide.
If someone dies by suicide, it's those that are left behind that have all the questions. The advice is,
I think, to recognize that it's nothing they did. Every single time someone chooses to die by suicide, it's a tragedy, it's sad. So we no longer say things like committed suicide or completed suicide because those terms have negative and positive connotations. So we simply say the person died by suicide, just as though someone has died by cancer or died in a car accident. So it's that very neutral approach.
As survivors of suicide, sometimes it's best to deal with the situation in a group setting.
The survivors, who are people who are left behind after someone does die by suicide, I think can find some comfort in talking about it and talking to other people who maybe have experienced the same tragedy.
And the road to recovery usually begins by talking about it. Hugh Headley, Shaw TV, Red Deer.